Up, folks? This is episode 8 of Varsity Viewpoint, 8 that we've actually posted. I'm Dane Godar here always with Logan Gardner and our special guest, Matthew Steph Curry Lyman.
Sir,
How we doing, Matt?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Good. You ready to get your pod on?
Yeah.
Okay, Logan, lead us off with girls basketball.
So girls basketball, they are doing amazing. 9-0 right now, 2-0 in conference. Last 3 games haven't been particularly close.
No. And the East Side game was just I feel like a game that, you just go into and you just know that you have to go in and take care of business, and I think that's what they did, That's really what it is. It's a team that you should beat, you go in and beat them.
Yeah. They look amazing right now, just playing great. They look like they're having fun just in general playing. Right now, they are ranked number 41 in all of Illinois, which doesn't sound awesome, but that's a reminder that there are like 300-something schools.
A lot of Chicago teams.
Because Chicago itself
Steph
has probably
Curry.
100
Steph Curry.
schools itself. But in 3A, which is our rankings, like schools around our size, they are ranked 10th in the entire state, which is nuts.
It is nuts. It's impressive, and I think we've got an upcoming in girls basketball after a few down years, which again, as we said,
Yeah.
a down year for girls basketball is still a very good year.
Yes, very
But
much so.
I think we're 9-0,
Mhm.
and 2-0 in conference. You can't do better than that. You can't do better than 9-0. You can't do better than undefeated. And big game tomorrow against Triad.
Yeah.
Big game for both teams.
Both teams. Mega Knight. I want to get you guys' opinion on Mega Knights. So, Dane, you played with them last year. Matt's playing with them this year.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play last year. I didn't play last year. So, last year, first year, how do you think it went?
So last year was the first year that we did these Mega Night things, and I have extremely mixed feelings about it because, one, it's unfair to a lot of people. It's unfair to JV players, too. I will say, a 4:30 basketball game, that's 2.5 hours after we get out of school. That is probably 2 hours before some of these schools get out. And, that is just – it's such an awkward time. And, Coach Dreeth always harped on it, we have to bring the energy because, the energy's not in the building. No one's going.
No one went to the JV games
No
last
one
year.
is off work,
100%
anything like that. And I also think it's unfair to girls because they are always, we changed it this year. We have a couple games where the girls are the main event. But I think it's unfair that they're kind of in the JV time slot, And it doesn't give a lot of people time to get off work, get home, get something to eat. And I think it does diminish a crowd a little bit. Especially at CM, there's always going to be a big crowd at girls' games. But I feel like that since it's not the main event, it kind of – they don't have that energy from the start.
Matt?
No, I completely agree with that. As a spectator last year, I literally went to every single game we could. I was there at both JV games, girls and boys. It was fun watching all of them, but it was a long day.
It's a long day.
It's just a long day.
And, again, as a JV varsity guy, it is a really long day. You have a walk-through basically right after school. You might have time to run home and get something to eat real quick.
Yeah.
Got to go right back to the school, especially in away games.
Yeah.
You got to run back to the school, go play a JV game, and then you have to sit, which is really, really strange.
Yeah, I think that might be the hardest part about them is the complete difference between, say, Dane, you played JV and sat varsity last year. You got some varsity minutes, right? So
some garbage minutes.
There's still minutes.
Minutes are minutes, baby.
Basically.
For a JV player who, say they start JV and usually would play straight into the varsity game.
Riley Lamb, Parker Parnell.
Yeah. So they would have to play their full game, get all their adrenaline up and ready to go, and then after their game ends, their game starts at 4:30, it ends around 6
ish.
And the JV boys were playing in the Aux Gym before the girls' teams last year.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
the girls' JV would be playing at the same time.
Mhm.
They now have to sit through 75% to like 80% of the girls' game and then have to get re-warmed up,
Yeah.
which as an athlete is very difficult.
It's
sucks.
difficult and it's painful.
Yeah.
When you go through a basketball game, you got that adrenaline pumping. You get a lot of bumps and scratches and bruises and all
Mhm.
the things that you don't feel until after the game. You cool down. Normally it's your bus ride home,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there and you're just like, oh, now I'm hurting.
Mhm.
But then that time is in between the
in
games.
between two games.
And so you're sitting there behind the bleachers. You can't ice because you need to stay ready.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there on the bleachers and you're like, man, this is not a good feeling.
No.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But I feel like as a spectator, it is very fun
it's
because by the end of the night, that gym is packed no
Uh-huh,
matter what.
yes.
Because obviously the girls get a lot of pull. Even in that earlier time slot, there was still a very big like crowd coming out. To that
Mhm.
boys' game at the end of the night, it was so packed.
Which was different from like sophomore
Yeah,
year.
our sophomore year, your freshman year,
Yeah.
when we play a game on a Tuesday night,
Mhm.
it was
there was
empty.
there was no one there.
so comparing that, or even on our Friday nights, it was a bigger crowd, but it was still pretty empty.
Yeah.
Comparing that to last year's Friday nights as a spectator, and in Jerseyville has been the only one that I've experienced as a player, those crowds are much larger just because of having both teams like that play back to back. I think creates just more of a reason to go see both games. So people who maybe haven't been to boys games in the past, because obviously our girls team is so great, they're going to go Monday, Thursday, but the boys team was shaky. They're not going to go Tuesday, Friday.
Yeah.
Now it just creates an atmosphere so where everyone is they're looking forward to that
Exactly.
Friday night where they can see the girls kick some butt, the boys kick some butt, and they can leave the gym like happy that, oh my gosh, see, I'm just wiped out.
Yeah. And I think that we can give a lot of credit. Last year, my favorite game that I've been a part of, the Triad game at home last
Mhm.
year,
Mhm.
I think we can give a lot of credit to that game, to the atmosphere that was brought by the fans, by the
Yeah.
student
Yeah.
section, by everyone. And again, I think Mega Night helps that out.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go watch two of the top teams in our conference, the girls play.
Yeah.
And then it might bring more of a crowd to some guys who think, hey, Triad's probably going to beat our boys. We don't really want to go. But then, they go watch that girls game, and then they're like, hey, let's stay for this game. We're already here. And then, you see what happens.
Yeah. Tomorrow is at home against Triad. And I feel like I don't remember what they were like last year, but I feel like they're a different team than last year. Because I remember last year the MVC was overall just very down, except for Highland, I want to say.
Highland was really
Highland was
Yeah.
really good. Right now, Triad's 7-1. They're 2-0 in conference. They're ranked 62 in 3A, which I think is the biggest biggest ranking, I guess.
Yeah. Biggest
Uh,
class, I think.
biggest class.
I
So
think that's the
that
word.
being 60 top 100 in that is okay. Being top 75 is even better.
Yeah.
And so with how many, because a lot of Chicago schools, I can't talk,
Mm-hmm.
are 3A. A lot of bigger schools, I think a few Springfield schools are 3A.
Yeah.
So being anywhere in that top 100 is still pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So these two, obviously, our girls, number 10 in 3A, they have a couple more games under the belt right now, or it's one more game because I
Yeah.
think they played John Burrow last weekend.
They
Yeah.
played John Burroughs in the Switch shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And speaking of, John Burroughs last year was I think they were 29-3 state champions in Missouri, and really
Very good
good.
team.
They're
Very
really
good team.
really good team. Obviously you lose some seniors. You don't know how it goes, but that's a team that's a really good victory, and like that really can make you feel good about yourself. Whether it's it doesn't matter if they lost every single player. They are still the defending state champions, and
Yeah.
you want to go and beat
Yeah.
the defending state
Yeah.
champions.
I mean,
That's just how it is.
you lose players, but if you have the same coaching staff, you can expect.
yeah.
Like, I mean, Centralia this year, they
Mhm.
lost everyone.
Mhm.
I think they had 6 seniors in their rotation last year, but I mean, every year they're just so good. It doesn't matter how many players they lose.
Hey, shout out Nathan Taylor. Watching the podcast from the beach in Florida.
Oh, he's in Florida?
He is in Florida for soccer. And
Oh,
yeah,
he's
for soccer,
with
yeah.
Good man Tyler Wilson.
Tyler Wilson,
And
who we
he
still
is
need to get
watching the
on here.
podcast instead of enjoying his time on the beach. I don't know
Yeah,
why
I
he's
don't know
doing
why
that.
you're doing
like,
that.
there's a beach in front of you. You might want to do that instead. It's freezing. It's freezing here. So go enjoy the
Well,
beach
now that I
instead of
think about
watching
it,
our
I don't
dumb
know how
podcast.
warm Florida's probably
It's
like
gotta be.
60, right?
It's got
That's
to be.
perfect.
It's got to be warm enough.
It's got
That's
yeah,
perfect.
warm enough to sit on the beach, but I don't know because that's the Atlantic. That's cold. Depends on where he's at.
Yeah. I don't know.
If he's on the Gulf side, it shouldn't be bad. But
He's in Pensacola, I think.
Pensacola.
I don't know if
I
that
don't know
does
where that is.
anything for you.
Yeah, no. that's somewhere in Florida. There's
It
like
is in Florida.
there's 10.
Oh, really?
I only know where like 2 places are. It's the
It's-
Keys and Miami.
It's on a beach.
Exactly.
It's on a beach.
It is
So,
on a beach.
Now let's move on to boys basketball, where me and Matt we both play basketball. Me, not as much anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'll get into that in a second. But right now we're 2-1 last 3 games. Not bad.
Yeah.
We play a different schedule than the girls. They played in another shootout. We have that later in the year. We play Wood River shootout. So last 3 games, Carbondale was a tough loss. I think we just didn't execute our game plan as well that night.
Nah.
Jerseyville last Friday, kind of went in there. It was slower in the first half. Second half, kind of we took off.
Yep.
And then Gillespie. The score does not say as much as it should. We won 65-36.
Yeah.
To someone who doesn't watch basketball, you're like, wow, that's like kind of a blowout.
Yeah.
If you were watching that game, you would understand why the basketball team might not be like super ecstatic about only winning by that much. I feel like overall, we could have won that game by a lot more.
Yeah. For sure.
We came in like it's one of those games where you're like, okay, cool, this is a win. Like
It's really hard to
It's-
just
yeah.
get off the bus and want to go play a game when
Yeah.
you know you're playing a team that you should beat by 50.
yeah,
As simple as that.
It's something. So, like, don't get me wrong, we played well. We put up 65, but it was mostly like it wasn't lack of effort. I think everyone played very hard, played very well.
Yeah, we did.
It was just lack of execution. We could not get shots to fall. You can't get into the mindset you need to be when you're like, okay, this is going to be a team we beat. So I know Coach Green said in the locker room that night, he was like, this isn't championship basketball. Because he says it a
Yeah.
lot. He says a lot. Treat every game like a championship. That's been the first game that I think that we may not have been like fully into it. But that being said, going into Triad tomorrow is a completely different mindset.
Oh, and I think that plays a factor into it. You know, you've got that Tuesday night game against Gillespie, and you got Triad on Friday looming over everything. You know,
Yeah.
you do not care about the Gillespie.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
you are thinking, I want to go and beat Triad.
Yeah,
That
that's-
you wake up Monday morning and you go, this is Triad week.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
play a game on Tuesday, but you're saying this is Triad week.
Yeah,
You want to
that's
go
what
in
it's
and
been.
go beat Triad.
That's what it's been. And another thing that doesn't look the same as it is, Triad's 4-3. They have lost their last 3 games and not particularly close ones, other than to Columbia.
Yeah.
Missed a ton of layups. Yes, we did. Missed a lot of layups against Gillespie.
I was not in attendance, so I can't.
It was.
I
It
cannot
was.
speak on
It
that.
was a game. It was a game.
We're
I'm
not
not
gonna
going to talk
about
about how
How did Matt Lyman play?
Yeah, we're just not gonna talk about that.
Matthew.
It was just a bad night.
Matthew Lyman may or may not have fallen flat on his face
Oh,
and
yeah.
smoked his face off of Lucas Angora's knee. But that's
That
hypothetical. It's hypothetical.
Thought I had a concussion again, but we're good. We're good.
Matt almost got
Concussions.
reconcussed.
I thought I
He
did.
about rejoined me.
I was gonna say concussions. We've got our fair share of concussions at this table right
Yeah.
now.
No. Combined, we have a total of 6 concussions. Have you ever had one?
I had one last year. I was out for a month
you
last
did.
year.
Okay, we have a total of 7 concussions.
And a brain bleed.
I have 4 of them. Matt has 1. His should count as 2. It was a brain bleed.
Yeah.
You had a brain bleed?
Yeah.
That is not good.
No.
Oh, I said
I was
we
up
have
for 3
total of
weeks. We're
6
good.
Well, that's
concussions.
because you got that thing, though.
The CT.
The
The
CT3.
Oh, boy.
That's
Oh.
You got that, like, blood disorder or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hemophilia.
Is that why?
Hemophilia, yeah.
Yeah, I had to get transferred to another hospital, and they found out I had a brain bleed by ambulance. That was
So
awful.
what do they do? for
They
that?
they had to inject me with like factor VIII, which is what I'm missing in my blood. Yeah. Which it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
blood.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the blood.
Yeah, I know
clotting
exactly
yeah,
what he's talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
blood
yeah.
clotting factor that
Yeah.
I'm missing in my blood. So
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what that meant.
you
Yeah.
probably don't even know what that means either. It's
no
fine.
clue. No
A
clue.
blood clot? Nah.
But I know what a
Yeah.
blood clot is.
Yeah.
It's when
But-
your blood clots.
Yep, that one.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Triad, 4-3. They're
Who are their other two losses?
Waterloo at
yeah.
home. That
That was a close.
Stell.
No, it was like 14. Wasn't
They
it?
won by like 10.
10.
Stell.
10, 15. Stell apparently has changed a lot. He's apparently playing much better. Because I know
He's always been pretty good.
Well, no, I mean like in the past he apparently his like mindset is switched. Where in the
Okay.
past he's like I know I'm the best, but now he's like I want to work for it.
That's good.
Which is good. It's nice.
It's not good for us, but that's good.
As a basketball fan,
Yes.
that is a good thing. I like to
Yes.
see players want to evolve, get better. As a Civic Memorial basketball player,
That's not good.
not good at all. And then their other loss was I just had it pulled up.
Yeah.
Crap.
It was
Centralia,
that one. It was that one team.
Waterloo and
that one team.
Yeah, you know.
That one team. Hold on. Oh, that's girls basketball. Either way, it wasn't relatively close.
Okay.
Oh, they played Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
They lost
yeah.
by almost 20.
We play them next week.
They
right?
played them in Springfield for a shootout.
Yeah.
It was not great. But, I mean, I went back and watched the film on some of these games. Triad, it's not like they're not good.
They're good.
They're playing their
They're
butts off,
tall.
and they're playing teams that are just, like, they want it
Yeah.
bad. And I think right now that's kind of what Triad is they're playing teams who want it. Like, so they're ready to fight and grab, and they're basically playing the Detroit Lions every week, where
Yeah.
they just want to beat this team so bad.
I think that's another thing for our boys team to take into consideration is that they're down right now. They want nothing more to walk into CM
Yeah.
and win by 100 if they could.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, but that's what it's going to be is Triad's down, and they want to get back.
oh yeah,
And especially after what happened last time we played Triad, which was last year. We've
Yeah.
talked about this several times on the
Oh,
podcast.
yes.
DJ Dutton, game-winning 3, court
shout out
stormed.
DJ Dutton.
Yes, sir.
That Triad wants to come back here.
Oh yeah,
If there's anything that's been put on, like, hanging in their lockers, hanging around the
Mhm.
locker room like Dreeth used to do with anything that would have to do with, like, some adversity for us, try and get us riled up, it is that.
yes.
It is DJ Dutton's game winner, us standing on our court, and them not getting handshakes or anything because we had completely filled everything. That is what they want. They want to come in here and they want to show this crowd that that's not Triad.
Yeah.
That this current team.
And and I think that's a natural way of thinking, and I think that that's what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
You know, you have a conference rival, a team that is what they obviously think is better. They think they're better, which I think again is a healthy mindset. You
Yeah.
don't want to think that you're worse than anybody. And when they lose to a team that they don't think they should have lost to, that's on every single person's mind the next time they play them,
Mhm.
just as a competitor.
Yeah. No, I feel like tomorrow night's gonna be a very good game.
Oh yes, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited for both games. I think it's going to be
Yes.
really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, and along with that being the Mega Night, girls game at 6 p.m., boys game starts at 7:30. It is Military Appreciation Night.
Yes.
So that wear your green, wear your America stuff, because
Be
We're gonna-
patriotic.
yeah, and we're gonna try and get I think some members to come stand with players.
Yes.
and
I think my
stuff.
grandpa's coming.
Matt Lyman's grandpa will be there.
And I'm having a resident from Villa Rose, who obviously I work at Villa Rose, so I've gotten to know a lot of the
Obviously,
residents.
you all know that Logan works at Villa
Yeah.
Rose.
I guess I've never
Obviously.
mentioned that. I work at an old folks home, so
Mhm. That's why it always smells like old people.
yeah. But I'm getting a resident from there. I think he is part of the ML family, the ones who spray free bugs and stuff. IML or ML.
I don't know what you're
Just
I
move
don't know.
on. Let's talk about some college football, please.
All right, yeah. Well, we got bowling.
Oh yeah.
Come on, bowlers.
Let's go bowlers.
They're playing tonight, right?
I think they're gone right now.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, they're
But-
bowling right now.
Right now they're bowling. I don't know who they're playing
Braden
against.
Prott.
But
Triad.
earlier this week,
They're playing Triad.
Let's
they
go
played
beat.
Triad earlier this
Let's
week.
go beat
I
up.
think they're playing right now.
Let's go beat up
I
on
don't know.
Triad.
That's what I heard.
They may be playing
Every
Triad
sport
again,
beats
but
up
I
on
know
Triad.
Triad Tuesday. They beat them apparently from comeback. I was told they beat them like they were down, came back. High game was Jude Breyer with a 247. High series Ryan Breyer 636. So brother power going out there, kicking Triad's butt. So and then last thing for CM Sports wrestling. I don't know any individual things.
Go wrestlers.
Go wrestlers,
Wrestlers.
but you guys did
I'm
second
sure-
place at Steve Bradley invite. That's good.
That's good. I'm sure
Yeah.
Bradley Ruckman, Luke McCoy, Kavan,
I'm sure they'll do great.
Abe Wojciechowicz.
Bradley got first, I'm pretty sure.
Bradley Ruckman got first place because that's what CM wrestlers do.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
They get
And
first
then-
place. I think Luke
I
got
think he got second.
second or
I think
third.
Kavan got second.
I think Kavan got second or third. I think overall we did very well.
Yeah,
That's good.
we did good.
Yeah, I
Go
I
wrestlers.
kind of
Go
went to like some
wrestlers.
of those matches.
all right. And
Sh-
now
and shout out girls wrestling.
Shout
I
out
have
girls
no
wrestling.
idea what's going on with you guys,
Yeah,
but we
we
love
don't.
you and we're happy for you.
all right, and now for what Dane has been asking for.
College football.
College football.
First, let's start off by saying that Alabama did not get in to the college football playoff.
Finally.
Alabama should not have gotten into the college football playoff.
They should not have.
Anyone who disagrees with me can argue with
You
the
don't know
wall
ball.
because you don't know ball. But we have some very, very fun matchups. I'm super excited. Especially, I just went to the Big Ten Championship,
Mhm.
watched Penn State and Oregon play. Absolute just shootout of a game.
Yeah,
It was
very much so.
it was like 31-26 or some, I don't know the score. Something real high at
Yeah.
halftime. It was insane.
It was hard.
And I'm a Big Ten guy, obviously a Michigan fan. I'm really excited to go watch, obviously, Oregon, the number 1 seed, so they won't be playing for a while. This week is kind of the off week. You know, you got Army, Navy.
This is this is small bowls.
I think this week should only be Army, Navy.
Oh, then yeah, Army
Because
Navy
this is
always
the
good.
Army, Navy week, which is
Yeah.
really strange.
Yeah.
Because if either of them were in contention for the playoff seedings would have came out before.
Yeah.
Which Army just won their conference. They just won the American
For the
and
first
now,
time,
Ever.
since was it ever?
No,
or was it
no.
since
It's
just
since
way long ago?
since football started. You know.
Yeah, probably.
And they just won the American, and now they have to go play another game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So strange.
Well, weren't they in playoff contention for a while? Like
they were. They
and
were.
then
They were
they've
undefeated
only
for a
lost
while.
one game,
Yeah.
and it took them out of the rankings. I think they're ranked
Yeah.
23rd right now,
Yeah.
which is nuts.
But yeah, so they're gonna win their conference, go play an Army Navy game, and then I don't know if they get into a bowl game or
I
not
don't
because
think
of
they
it.
can. I don't think
I
the
don't know how-
military academies.
I don't know how it works. Anyways, let's talk about some matchups. We got the top 4 seeds.
Top 4
are
seeds are
Oregon,
Oregon, Georgia, Boise State. which
Boise
we'll
State.
talk about
We
that
will
one
talk
in a
about
minute.
Boise State.
And Arizona State.
Shut up.
They're
Luke.
going to the championship. I'm calling it
Okay,
out.
Matt.
Okay.
Matt, you tell me what you think about Boise State.
Bro, what?
He
me
doesn't
what you
know
think about
anything
Boise
I don't
State.
know. I
about
don't
I
know.
know. That's
college
why I wanted to
football.
say. Okay.
Also,
Okay.
Boise State.
Boise State
is
what?
nuts
the
right now.
number
Like,
3
why?
Straight out of
seed,
Idaho.
the
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
The-
Idaho.
conference champions in the
Mountain West.
Mountain West. They
I watched that game in the hospital.
They have 1 loss the entire year, and that is a 3-point loss to the number 1 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks. And obviously, the main talking point on Boise State is Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's a
Matt Lyman agrees.
Matt Lyman agrees.
I agree.
So
Matt Lyman approved.
and then the actual matchups that are played
Let's
is
talk.
it next week.
I think next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
So a week and 2 days.
Yeah. So I want you guys to tell me who you think is going to win out of these games. So game number 1, number 9 Tennessee at number 8 Ohio State.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
Tennessee.
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 I think it can go one of 2 ways. Tennessee, obviously playing in Ohio State, another thing, home playoff games. Super stoked about it. I'm so excited to see how it goes. Anyways, Tennessee's going in Ohio State. Ohio State coming off one of the worst losses in program history, arguably, losing to an unranked Michigan, the rivalry game that you do not want to lose, going in and losing as the number 2 team in the country. No one's happy about it.
No.
I mean, I'm pretty happy about it, but no one's happy about it. And I think it can go one of two ways. Ohio State starts slow. In home, that whole crowd is going to be booing bad. And that's going to get in everyone's head, and it's going to fuel Tennessee even more, say, yeah, this crowd doesn't even want to watch their own team play. On the other hand, they can come in and say, we just lost to an unranked team as the number 2 team in the country and go run through a brick wall.
That's what I think is going to happen.
You think Ohio State's going to win?
I think Ohio State's going to come into this game so angry.
Oh, yeah.
Not only that they're the number 8 seed, because this has been Ohio State's best year in probably almost 10 years now.
And they've been to some playoffs and stuff.
Yeah,
So.
I wouldn't say 10 years, but this has been a really good season for them for what people thought was going to be a down year for them. I think, especially after that loss, they're going to come in so angry, just ready to show the nation that they're still one of the best teams in the country.
All right, next matchup.
Matchup, number 12, Clemson at number 5, Texas. And I think we can all agree on who's going to win this
Number 5, Texas, is the first team that does not have the first round bye, playing a Clemson team who just barely made it. They won the conference, right?
I believe so.
They beat SMU in the conference championship. Yeah, they won on a last-second field goal. SMU has been the number 1 team in the ACC for, as long as I can remember this year.
Yeah, I think all year.
And so you go in knowing as a conference champion, which the 12 seed was basically locked up when it was announced a 12-team playoff. They were like, this 12 seed is the group of 5 conference champion, the best group of 5 conference champion. Well, that's not actually how it was.
No.
It was just the 5th-ranked conference champion.
Yeah.
Turns out Boise State's better than the ACC champion.
Yeah.
Which I think could happen quite often with the ACC struggling to be a football conference right now. They had
Florida State last year.
Florida State. Florida State.
Florida
Okay.
State.
Florida State went from a 13-0 powerhouse of a school. Quarterback goes down in the conference championship game. They win. They miss out on the playoff. They play in a New York Six Bowl against Georgia, and they lost like 63-7 or something.
Yeah, it was.
And then I think it was right at that moment where my man Charlie Kilpatrick looked and he realized that his Florida State Seminoles were going to be rough.
Yeah.
But did anyone think they were going to be this rough? No. They went 2-10. I think they went 2-10. They were preseason ranked in the AP poll. They ended up going
top 10 in the AP poll.
They ended up going 2-10. Just played a close game to Georgia Tech week 0.
Yeah.
And then it was downhill from there. But Clemson is an interesting team.
17 in the ACC. I didn't know there were that many teams in the ACC.
There's probably 17.
Oh, they're dead last.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-10.
They're behind teams like who
Stanford, Wake Forest,
Stanford. If you are behind Stanford and North Carolina
in football
without Drake May in football, then that's a problem. But another good point we will
Wake
talk
Forest.
about. Yes, they're behind Wake Forest. Bill Belichick is the next head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. What?
Yeah, it was very random.
Yeah.
He says that he does not like what the NFL has become.
Yeah.
I think that means he couldn't get a job in the NFL because he's old and everyone realized that Brady kind of carried him.
Yeah.
But he's going to put together basically a super team of coaching staff. You know, he's gonna bring his son onto the team.
Did you hear the like stipulation of what happens after?
Yes,
Belichick
once
retires?
Belichick retires, his son is automatically
Head coach.
confirmed as the head coach, the
Right.
next head coach of the team.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, what if Belichick gets fired? Are they just gonna say, "Hey, here's your son that has the exact same ideas as
Yeah,
you"?
it's the exact
It
same
doesn't-
playbook. It's because in the NFL, his
Wardell
defensive
Stephen Curry.
in the NFL, his defensive coordinator was his son.
Yes, in the room. Wardell Stephen Curry is in the room.
Belichick made the defensive calls.
Yes.
So, what did his son do?
So he sat there and he said, "My last name is Belichick,"
And he
Why-
made weird
and,
faces.
and he went, and then they won like 7 Super Bowls,
Yeah.
6 Super Bowls. Anyways, Texas wins by 50.
Texas wins by a lot. Next, after that, Notre Dame, number 10 Indiana at number 7 Notre Dame.
Okay, I think the biggest talking point here is Indiana good? Who have they played this year? Their best win this year is against a 7-5 Michigan team
Yeah.
by less than a score, I'm pretty sure. I think it was
And-
like a 3-4 point win.
That's the argument people make against Notre Dame all the time, which I don't think people understand. Notre Dame plays teams. Like
Notre Dame lost to NIU week 3,
I think
4,
week
somewhere
3.
around there. And then they flipped a switch and became the best team in college football.
they beat
by
Army. Their Army's one loss, right?
Yes. Their
They-
Army's 1 loss.
They just came through and they decided that this is ours now.
Yes.
I'm going all the way to the playoffs. I don't care that I lost to NIU because they knew that Notre Dame is always good,
Yes.
but
and
they're never lose to NIU bad.
no.
And they decided it's just
I think that they're once again getting punished for not being put in not being in a conference. You know, they have these TV deals with NBC. You know, they're getting so much money. I cannot blame them. You know, they're keeping rivalries around Army, Navy, and you know. But at the end of the day, you're an independent school. You can't win a conference. You can't get a bye.
yeah.
And I think they probably would have gotten a bye because they would have won whatever conference they were in.
If they were in the ACC,
It-
like most people say, they would.
Everyone
dominate
is.
the conference.
I mean, they're in the ACC in everything but football.
Yeah.
So if they were in the ACC, they don't play a close game.
No. I mean,
Um,
maybe SMU this year, but
I don't think so.
yeah.
And you know, playing Indiana, who's played basically nobody. They have 1 loss to who they lose to. I'm blanking. They just whoever.
I don't know.
They
They lost
played-
to one person.
And they played in. It's the only good game they've played this year, and they lost.
Yeah.
So I think that you just kind of sit there and you realize that maybe Notre Dame's just gonna go and run through Indiana because Indiana is not built for that.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think Notre Dame wins, and it's not very close.
Matt.
I probably agree with you guys. I don't really know
Matt
college
knows
football,
nothing about
bro.
college.
What's up, Cole?
Really don't.
So last matchup, number 11 SMU at number 6 Penn State. Personally, I think Penn State.
I think
Probably.
I
rolls through
think
them.
Penn State walking into their stadium after playing a very good game against Oregon, you know, a home playoff game in Happy Valley. I'm sure it'll be a whiteout. I'm sure it'll be as loud as you can imagine, and I think that game is just going to be not close again. I think obviously it's college football. Obviously there's going to be these games that aren't supposed to be close, and then sometimes the team that ain't supposed to win comes out and wins, and I think that's exciting, and I'm excited for it.
I think we have to wrap up because I think esports has tryouts.
Esports has tryouts.
So
I have a
do
door
you
1 or
want
door
to?
2.
Okay.
Matt, behind door 1. So this is not going to be a fun door 1 or door 2.
Ah,
It doesn't involve
whatever.
death, but it does involve some gross things. Behind door 1, you have to spend 1 hour in a room full of snakes. Behind door 2, Hearn, come here. Come here. Behind door 2, you have to be in a room filled with spiders. Which one do you take? Door 1,
Door 1, door 2.
hour in a room with spiders.
Probably snakes.
You take snakes?
Yeah.
I'd take snakes.
I would take snakes as
I
well
would also
because
take snakes
they're
because I
bigger.
can't do the like the feeling of crawling.
They're crawling on you.
I
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
I have pet reptiles and snakes.
He has pet reptiles.
Terrifying.
I have a couple snakes.
You have snakes?
Yeah,
do?
at my mom's house.
I could not
Really?
do that.
Yep.
I have my
Dang.
dogs. I'll stick with my dogs.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
I think we're good.
We didn't even interview Matt this week. Matt, who are you?
Matt, who are you?
I'm Steph Curry. I'm
All right.
He's Steph
cool.
Curry.
He's
Thank you,
Steph
Matt.
Curry, guys.
All right, that's all we got. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Oh,
we're going on.
we're going on break.
We're going on break. for
Everyone
Christmas
have a
break.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll be back in the
Happy
new year
holidays,
in
everybody.
2025. Thank you all.
Yeah.